know, music is, it's spiritual. You can take us to a small kid that can't even sit alone, and you pull the strings on some kind of instrument, a fiddle or a banjo or something other like that, and you watch how quick it draws attention to that kid. And he'll do his best to get a hold of that. It draws the attention of the whole human race.
I like instruments and I like the sound they make, and of course when you're around them and somebody's playing them, then they radiate and they put out these pulse waves and something is expressed, and I think as a child I wanted to do it. In LA, in West Los Angeles, you could have this education at no other place at no other time. End discussion. People say, how did you learn music? I say, this was how I learned music.
How did you learn music?
By being there. You know, in the ash grove with Ed. At the bar, at my chair.
Well, when I was a young boy, I used to slip away down to the ash grove to hear the old bluesmen play. There was Big Joe and Lightnin, and Reverend Gary too. Well, I'd sit and stare and dream of doing what they could do.
The Ash Grove was a club started in, I think, like the late 50s by Ed Pearl. It focused primarily on bluegrass, blues, and folk music.
I kind of like heard about it through the ethers of the folky telegraph, you know. When you go out in California, you know, go down to Los Angeles, hey, they got this great place called the Ash Grove, okay.
When you walk in, the first thing you see is that this place looks really strange. I've never seen a place quite like it. Even though you've seen coffee houses before, this one was different.
There was a set of curtain doors that led you into, essentially into the auditorium where the music was.
I opened the Ash Grove on July 11th, 1958. It was at 8162 Melrose, 4 blocks west of Fairfax.
And there was this core of regular customers that was, I wouldn't know how to put a number on them, but they were very loyal.
I remember seeing the guy that played Herman Munster, okay, and Grandpa Al Lewis, okay, and their dates come there, see a show, come out of the Ash Grove, walk into the McCabe's with all the records and pick up this album, and then watch Al Lewis come over and say, no, 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 Booker White, that's not the stuff, this is it, right here, Booker White, that's the real stuff, that's what you should be listening to.
I'm gonna get up in the morning, I'm gonna cast down on county law, 'cause I done got tired of working for my rooming boy.
What was unique about the Ash Grove was the traditional music. For a guitar player, it was pure gold. I mean, you could become a good musician.
I built a counter around the stage. The kids who really wanted to learn guitar could sit on the lip of the stage and watch hands.
Yeah.
And it worked.
I had my chair. Nobody was going to get that chair but me. And I'd come around 6 o'clock just to sit there so I couldn't be moved, so no one would get my chair.
Compared to the average musician who has to sing in commercial places, people come in to have a drink and hear some music, but they talk over the music. That's not much fun. You theoretically are getting famous.
You're sitting there with a room full of like whatever 100 people are all drinking their little cocktails that they paid too much for, and they're expecting you to put on the old razzmatazz thing. Nobody ever said to me there, you have to do this kind of show tonight, or we're billing you as that and you got to do that. I was into singing the blues. I wanted to, in those situations, I was singing the blues. I'm showing you through the songs I'm choosing what it's like to be a woman.
Well, I'm on my way, and I won't turn back. I'm on my way. Why I won't turn back.
There was just an aesthetic sense that the music was deeper.
Why was it deeper?
If you have more to say about that, why would you say that?
I would say it's deeper. For one reason, the musicians were older. A 60-year-old musician is going to be deeper than a 20-year-old musician.
You got to walk that lonesome valley. Well, you got to walk it for yourself. Ain't nobody here can walk it for you. You got to walk that valley for yourself. My mother had to walk.
You would realize that this music was not just about good times, bad times, or whatever. It was part of the history and the development of the U.S. You were going in and you were having a good time and all that, but you're also being made aware that, you know, this music comes with, I don't want to say baggage, but it comes with a history.
These black people from the 30s, basically, in pre-war time, blues singers, already the most obscure humans possible, coming from little crossroads at Hamlet, dirt road town in the cotton field somewhere. Then we get to see them in Los Angeles on Melrose Avenue. The likelihood is 1,000,000 to 1 that they would be found, that they'd be alive, still able to play. I never realized the probability in those days. I just thought there's some magic conveyor belt that keeps bringing these people. I'll understand it.
On the way to summer, on the walking by Tokyo. I'll find my woman, I won't leave her. You know, the blues is something that it's hard to get acquainted with. It's just like death. The blues come so many different ways until it's kind of hard to explain. But whenever that you get a sad feeling, you can tell the whole round world you got nothing but the blues.
When Lightnin showed up, it was like a beacon. He was magnificent.
How long have it been, children, since you've been home? Poor mama, sitting by the window, rocking there alone.
I was fortunate enough to be there, and also, I would guess, bold enough or blind enough to think that I could be his friend, be his apprentice. Lightnin style was less emphasis on the thumb, although it was there, and more. The thumb is there. Hands that were about twice as long as mine to go.
That woman named Mary, she'd go and stay out all night long.